Welcome to Better Everyday, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of self-improvement, one book at a time. I'm Tom, your host, and along with my co-host Kelly, we'll be breaking down the key ideas from top self-improvement books and turning those insights into actionable steps you can apply to your life. Together, we're passionate about helping you grow and become your best self. Before we dive into today's episode, a quick reminder. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep bringing you more book deep dives every week. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. All right, let's get started. We hope you enjoy this episode and that it helps you become better every day.
All right, strap in, everyone. Today we are going deep into the world of negotiation.
With a former FBI hostage negotiator, no less.
Oh, yeah. We've got Chris Voss's book, NeverSplitTheDifference. This book is amazing.
It really is.
So many real-world tactics, and we're going to try and pull out the best ones for you guys.
Absolutely. Stuff you can use every day.
Imagine, facing down a kidnapper.
Oh, I don't even want to imagine.
But using those same skills to get a better deal.
On a car or a house?
Yeah, or a promotion, or just even, family disagreements.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's going to be really interesting.
Voss's approach, it really turns traditional negotiation on its head.
Yeah.
He says, getting to know is more valuable than a quick yes.
Oh, that's interesting. When I first heard that, I was like, wait, what?
I know, right?
Yes is the goal, isn't it?
It is, but he learned this from his time on a crisis hotline.
Oh, wow.
Getting to know makes people feel safe.
Mm.
They feel in control.
Makes sense.
It helps them define their boundaries and their needs, which leads to more genuine agreements.
So you're saying it's not just about getting to yes as quickly as possible?
No, not at all.
It's about understanding where those boundaries are?
He actually uses an example from his own life. When he was trying to become an FBI hostage negotiator.
Oh, wow.
He was told no repeatedly.
Really?
Yeah, but he persisted.
Of course.
He eventually got his foot in the door.
So it's almost like by accepting no as part of the process, you're actually opening up the conversation.
Instead of shutting it down, exactly.
Okay.
And when you push for an immediate yes,
yeah,
you risk getting a counterfeit agreement, something that looks good, but it falls apart later.
Okay.
Think about those pushy salespeople who pressure you into buying something.
I hate that.
You don't really need. You walk away feeling uncomfortable.
Resentful, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've definitely been there.
And those are the deals you regret later.
They are. Yeah.
So how can we apply this power of no in our own lives?
Give us the good stuff.
He's got some practical tips.
Okay.
Even for something as simple as email.
Oh.
Instead of saying, do you have time to talk?
Right.
Try is now a bad time.
Interesting.
It allows them to comfortably say no.
Without feeling pressured.
Right.
That's a good one. It's like giving them permission to be honest about their availability.
And that builds trust right from the start.
Right away, yeah.
And this leads us to another concept from the book.
Okay. Hit me.
Tactical empathy.
Ooh, I like it.
Going beyond simply acknowledging someone's feelings,
yeah,
but actually understanding their perspective.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does that actually work?
Voss shares a story about negotiating with 3 fugitives.
Oh my gosh.
Who were barricaded in an apartment.
Okay.
He had to use his voice through a door for 6 hours.
Wow.
To get them to surrender.
Intense.
His secret weapon was labeling, naming the other person's emotions.
Okay.
So he would say things like, it seems like you're worried about going back to jail, or it looks like you don't want to come out.
Okay, so he's acknowledging those concerns.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to force them to comply.
Exactly. And by labeling these emotions, Voss helped to de-escalate the situation.
It's almost like a Jedi mind trick.
It is. It is.
When you acknowledge someone's feelings, it shifts things. Right?
It shifts their brain activity towards rational thinking.
It's not just about feeling sorry for someone.
No, it's more strategic.
So it's about using empathy to kind of guide the conversation.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Voss applies this concept to both positive and negative emotions.
Okay.
For example, if someone seems excited about an idea,
right,
you might say, it seems like you're really enthusiastic about this. It reinforces their positive feelings.
And that builds momentum.
It does.
That's so interesting. It really makes you realize how much we can influence a conversation.
Just by how we acknowledge their emotions?
Now, imagine taking this a step further.
Okay.
With what Voss calls the accusation audit. This sounds a little intimidating.
It does.
What is this all about?
Think of it as preemptively addressing any criticisms
Okay.
the other party might have.
Uh-huh.
So you list all the negative things they might say about you,
Oh, okay.
and you say them first.
Interesting.
It sounds counterintuitive, but one of Voss's students, Anna,
Okay.
used this technique to secure a $1 million contract modification.
Wait, she basically called herself out on her potential flaws before the client could.
Yeah,
That's gutsy.
it is.
How did that work?
By addressing the elephant in the room, she disarmed the negative dynamics.
Oh, I see.
It showed transparency,
Yeah?
a willingness to address concerns.
Right up front.
It's about taking control of the narrative before it controls you.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these kind of counterintuitive techniques can actually give you an advantage
It's understanding human psychology.
and using it strategically.
Yes.
So what else can we learn from Chris Voss?
About bending reality.
In our favor, of course. Yeah.
Well, Voss says the word fair
Okay.
holds a lot of power in negotiations.
Really?
Yeah, people react emotionally when they feel they're being treated unfairly.
That makes sense.
This played out in the Iran nuclear negotiations.
Oh, wow.
Fairness, not just logic.
Of their decisions.
It did.
That's interesting. So it's not just about the numbers, it's about the principle.
Exactly.
We all want to feel like we're getting a fair shake.
We do.
So how can we leverage this in our own negotiations?
Well, Voss introduces the concept of anchoring,
Okay.
setting a high or low starting point to influence their perception of value.
Okay.
He uses this funny story
Okay.
about negotiating the price of his red Toyota 4Runner.
Nice.
He starts by complimenting the car, acknowledging its beauty,
Oh, that's smart.
and then he progressively lowers his offer
So he starts high, sets that expectation.
and guides the seller down.
That's good.
And did you notice he used a non-round number for his offer?
Oh, right.
This creates the impression, that you've carefully considered the value
Like you've really done your research.
and arrived at a precise figure.
Instead of just throwing out a random number.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point. It makes you seem more credible.
Right. And if you need to soften the blow of a low offer,
Okay.
Voss suggests pivoting to non-monetary terms.
Interesting.
This can make your offer seem more appealing.
Give me an example.
He gives an example of helping his cousin negotiate a kidnapping ransom in Haiti
Oh my gosh.
by including a seemingly random item,
Yeah.
a portable CD player.
A CD player.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's not always about the money.
No.
It's about finding those unique elements that can sweeten the deal.
Or shift the dynamic.
It's like negotiation as a creative process.
It is.
Like a game of strategy.
Exactly. And speaking of strategy,
Okay.
Voss's next technique is all about giving the other party
Yeah.
the illusion of control.
Now, this is where it gets interesting.
It does.
Giving up control seems counterintuitive to winning.
It does.
How did that work?
It's about using what Voss calls calibrated questions,
Okay.
specifically those that start with how or what. He talks about the Dos Palmas hostage situation,
Oh, yeah.
where negotiators realized they needed to coax, not defeat the hostage takers.
Interesting.
Instead of making demands, they asked questions.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
how can we make this work?
Okay.
Or what are your concerns?
So you're inviting the other party to be part of the solution
Yeah.
instead of dictating the terms.
Exactly. And these questions force them
Mm-hmm.
to think through your problems
Okay.
and offer solutions that benefit you.
That's pretty clever.
It is.
I like it.
Voss tells a story
Okay.
about a doctor who used calibrated questions
Yeah.
to persuade a patient to stay in the hospital.
Okay.
Instead of arguing, he asked,
What?
how will staying here help you achieve your goals?
Interesting.
Shifting the focus to the patient's needs
Okay.
and ultimately getting them to agree to treatment.
So it's about understanding their motivations,
It is.
not just forcing your own agenda. This applies to so many everyday situations.
It does, yeah.
Like instead of arguing with your landlord about rent, you could ask, how can we make this work for both of us?
Exactly.
It takes the pressure off.
It does.
And it encourages a more collaborative approach.
Yeah.
Voss gives another example
Yeah.
of a student trying to collect an overdue invoice.
From a difficult CEO,
Oh, I've been there.
instead of demanding payment,
Right.
she asked, how can we resolve this situation?
Again, shifting that language.
Changing the dynamic.
It's amazing how much power there is in the way we frame those questions.
Yeah.
I've definitely gotten stuck in negotiations
Yeah.
because I was focused on my own demands.
I get it.
Maybe a well-placed how question.
Could have unlocked a better solution.
Yeah, exactly.
This brings us to one of the most intriguing concepts.
Okay.
Black swans.
I'm picturing those elegant birds gliding across a lake. What does this have to do with negotiation?
Well, Voss uses black swans
Okay.
to describe those unknown unknowns
Okay.
that can completely change the game.
Hmm.
Think of it like this. Every negotiation involves information.
Yeah.
Things we know we don't know.
Okay.
And then there are those things that we don't even know
Yeah.
that we don't know. Those are the black swans.
Oh, okay.
Unexpected pieces of information that can shift everything.
So how do you even prepare for something you don't even know exists?
Voss argues that the key is to be constantly on the lookout
Okay.
for information that doesn't fit your assumptions. He
Interesting.
uses the example of William Griffin,
Okay.
the first person to kill a hostage on deadline.
Oh, wow.
The negotiators in that case
Yeah.
missed several crucial pieces of information.
Those black swans.
Black swans. That could have changed the outcome. Like, they didn't know he'd killed people before without making demands. And they missed a key line in a note
Oh, really?
indicating that he actually wanted to die.
Wow, that's a powerful example
Yeah.
of how crucial it is to pay attention,
To every detail.
even those ones that seem small.
Seem insignificant, yeah.
Yeah.
Voss encourages us to challenge our assumptions
Okay.
and constantly seek new information.
Be curious.
Yeah, adopt a mindset of curiosity.
And skepticism.
Yeah, always probing.
For those hidden pieces of the puzzle,
They can change everything.
it sounds like it's not just about gathering information,
No.
but about interpreting it correctly.
Yeah, seeing the patterns.
Connecting the dots.
A great example is the story of the tobacco farmer
Okay.
who threatened to blow up the National Mall.
Oh, my goodness.
The FBI discovered a black swan
Okay.
that ultimately helped them to resolve the situation peacefully.
What was it?
His religious beliefs. They learned that the following morning
Yeah.
was a significant religious holiday,
Okay.
the dawn of the third day, and used that
To their advantage.
to persuade him to surrender.
That's incredible. It highlights how important it is
Yeah,
to understand your counterpart's worldview,
values,
going beyond the surface
uncovering those deeply held beliefs.
that drive their actions.
Exactly. And black swans can act as leverage multipliers.
Hold on. Leverage multipliers. Here comes the FBI background.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Voss breaks down leverage into 3 types:
Yeah.
positive, negative, and normative.
Okay.
Positive leverage is the ability to give someone what they want.
Okay.
Negative leverage is the ability to hurt someone.
Right.
And normative leverage is using your counterpart's norms to get them around.
Okay.
Black swans can amplify any of these,
Wow.
giving you an edge you didn't know you had.
It's like you're playing chess and suddenly you discover this secret weapon
Yeah.
that totally changes your strategy.
Changes the game.
Black swans are those game changers
They are.
that can turn a weak position into a strong one.
Exactly. And understanding how to spot
And leverage these black swans.
is a game changer in any negotiation.
This is all starting to click.
Good.
It's about being aware of the leverage and how those black swans can shift the balance of power.
Absolutely. And Voss provides a framework for understanding
Oh, yeah.
how these black swans can impact negotiations.
Okay.
And he points out common mistakes negotiators make
Oh, that's good. Let's hear it.
when they encounter information that challenges their assumptions.
So what are some of those mistakes and how can we avoid them?
One common mistake is labeling the other party as crazy,
Oh, yeah.
when in reality, they might be operating with incomplete information or have hidden constraints
Okay.
that they're embarrassed to admit,
Yeah.
or other interests that aren't apparent
Yeah.
at the table.
It's easy to jump to conclusions when we don't have the full picture.
It is.
So how can we recognize when a black swan might be at play?
Voss emphasizes digging deeper,
Okay.
asking the right questions, genuinely listening to understand their motivations.
Okay.
He gives the example of a student
Okay.
who was struggling to close a deal with Coca-Cola.
All right.
It turned out his contact there had been sidelined
Oh.
and was too embarrassed to admit it.
Oh, wow.
But by taking the contact out to dinner,
Okay.
creating a safe space,
Yeah.
the student uncovered the truth
Interesting.
and ultimately connected with the right decision maker.
That's a great example of how changing the context of a conversation
Right.
can unlock crucial information and
Yeah.
change the course of a negotiation.
It reminds us there's always more to the story.
And it meets the eye. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Voss highlights another important lesson.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to walk away. No deal is better than a bad deal.
Right.
This mindset gives you the power
Okay.
to set boundaries and walk away.
When it's not working for you.
He shares a story about a student
Okay.
negotiating to buy a property in Charleston.
All right.
By doing his research, uncovering key black swans, like the property's unique value,
Okay.
and the seller's need to close quickly. The student secured a deal well below his target price.
That's the power of preparation and research and knowing when to walk away.
It's about recognizing your leverage.
And not being afraid to use it.
Exactly. And this leads us to the final section of the book.
Oh, good.
The art of bare-knuckle bargaining.
All right. Bring on the bare knuckles.
Here we go.
I'm ready to haggle like a pro.
Well, first, Voss emphasizes understanding your own negotiating style.
Okay.
He identifies 3 main types.
Yeah.
Analyst, accommodator, and assertive.
Okay.
Analysts are meticulous, detail-oriented,
Okay.
while accommodators are relationship-focused, and assertives are driven and results-oriented.
I can see how knowing your own tendencies can help you adapt your approach.
And understand their motivations.
It takes 2 to tango.
It does.
Yeah, okay.
So once you've identified your style,
Okay.
Voss provides a framework for navigating the nitty-gritty.
Tough bargain.
Yeah, he encourages us to prepare thoroughly,
Okay.
set ambitious but realistic goals, and develop a ready-to-walk mindset,
Okay.
knowing your bottom line,
All right.
and being willing to walk away.
That's such an important point.
It is.
It's so easy to get caught up in the emotion of it all and forget your boundaries.
Voss reminds us, no neediness is key.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The less attached you are to the outcome, the more power you have
Interesting.
at the table.
I see how this ties together.
It does.
It's like mastering the psychology, uncovering those black swans, and then applying that knowledge to bargaining.
Yeah, be prepared, confident.
Ready to walk away.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Voss provides a technique
Yeah.
for setting the stage
Okay.
for successful bargaining,
Hit me with it.
the Ackerman model.
Ackerman model. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the secret sauce?
It involves making a series of smaller offers,
Okay.
starting with an extreme anchor that's significantly lower.
Then your target price.
He tells this funny story
Okay.
about how he negotiated a discount on a rental car.
I love those make me an offer situations.
Too.
So you're saying start ridiculously low just to set the stage for that counteroffer.
Exactly.
Which is closer to what you really want.
Right.
That's brilliant.
It's like psychological judo.
You're shifting the whole frame of reference
Yes.
by starting with that extreme offer.
And Voss emphasizes a few key points
Okay.
when using the Ackerman model.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, deliver your offers with confidence
Okay.
and a sense of legitimacy.
Right, you've got to own it.
You want to convey you've put thought into it.
Even if it seems outlandish at first.
Yeah, and remember his tip about using non-round numbers?
Right.
Reinforce that sense of careful consideration.
So instead of offering, let's say, $400,
Yeah.
you might offer $386.
Oh, I see.
Like you've done the math.
It's all coming together.
It is.
Anchoring, calibrating questions, non-round numbers.
Even tactical. It's an art form.
Yeah, this intricate dance of influence.
And don't forget about labeling throughout the process.
As you make each offer, acknowledge their reaction.
Okay.
You might say something like, I understand this offer might seem low.
Okay.
But I'm confident we can find a solution that works for both of us.
You're constantly reassuring them that you're on their side.
But steering the negotiation in your favor.
This is next level stuff.
It is. It is.
It's like Voss is taking the mystery out of negotiation.
He is, yeah.
Breaking it down into steps.
Actionable steps.
That anyone can learn.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up,
okay,
what's the one piece of advice that you want our listeners to take away
from this book?
From Never Split the Difference.
If I had to pick just one,
okay,
it would be, don't get mad, get what you want.
I love that.
It's so simple.
It's so simple.
But profound.
It really is.
It reminds us it's not about winning at all costs.
Right.
It's about achieving your goals while maintaining a positive dynamic.
Respectful, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a battle.
It's not.
Right? It's a collaboration.
To find those mutually beneficial outcomes.
It's about shifting from that me versus them to us working together to solve a problem.
And when you approach negotiations with that mindset, it opens up so many possibilities.
I'm telling you, this deep dive has been eye-opening.
It has.
Voss's book is going on my must-read list.
It should.
I encourage our listeners to pick it up, too.
It's a good one.
Filled with incredible stories.
And advice.
That can change how you approach
everything.
Negotiations forever.
Yeah.
But before we go, I want to circle back to those black swans.
Okay.
We talked about how they can be leverage multipliers.
Change the game.
But how can our listeners become more attuned to spotting them?
That's a great question.
In their own negotiations.
It all comes down to cultivating curiosity and a willingness to challenge assumptions. Voss says, pay close attention to anything that seems out of place, contradictory, or inconsistent.
Those little cues.
Subtle cues.
That might signal.
There's more to the story
than meets the eye.
Exactly. For example, imagine you're negotiating a salary with a potential employer.
All right.
They seem eager to hire you, but their offer is significantly lower.
Oh, yeah.
Red flag than what you expected.
What kind of black swan could be lurking there?
It could be any number of things.
Right.
Maybe they're facing budget constraints.
Okay.
They're not comfortable disclosing.
Right.
Or maybe they have a different understanding
The role,
of the responsibility.
Or maybe there's an internal candidate
You got it.
they're not allowed to tell you about.
Exactly.
So there's always more to the story than what we initially see.
And by being aware of that,
Yeah.
you can ask the right questions.
And uncover that information.
This reminds me of those calibrated questions.
Right, those how and what questions.
They help you peel back the layers.
To get to the heart of it.
And don't be afraid to probe a little. Especially if something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Might say,
What?
I'm a little surprised by the salary range.
Okay.
Can you help me understand the reasoning behind it?
You're not being confrontational.
No.
You're just expressing curiosity.
You're inviting them to share more.
And by doing so, you might uncover a black swan.
That changes your strategy.
This has been amazing.
It has.
This whole deep dive into negotiation.
I've enjoyed it.
I feel like I have a whole new set of tools
You do.
and perspective.
That you can apply.
Yeah, to all aspects of my life.
And remember, mastering negotiation is a journey.
It's a process.
The more you practice these techniques, the more natural they'll become.
I'm excited to put all this into practice.
You too.
I encourage our listeners to do the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Pick up Never Split the Difference.
It's so good.
Start applying these insights to your own life.
You won't regret it.
It's a book that will stay with you
long after you finish it.
Now, before we say goodbye, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay.
Inspired by those black swans. What are you not seeing in your current negotiations?
That's a great question to ponder.
What hidden information?
And change the game.
Maybe it's time to dig a little deeper.
Ask some questions.
See what you can find.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us
on this deep dive
into negotiation mastery.
Until next time.
Keep diving.
And that's what's so cool about this book.
It gives you tools for everything.
It really does. From high stakes deals
to everyday stuff.
Exactly.
It's like he's giving us this secret decoder ring
like that.
for human behavior.
It's true.
Okay, we've talked about the power of tactical empathy, black swans.
Even bare knuckle bargaining.
But I gotta say, the Ackerman model really piqued my interest.
It's a good one.
Can we unpack that a little bit more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a powerful technique for anchoring the negotiation in your favor. It's a step-by-step process of making these progressively smaller offers.
Okay.
Starting with an extreme low ball.
Okay.
Far below your target price.
So you're setting the bar super low.
Super low.
Knowing they'll probably reject it.
Right.
But then you gradually increase, make it seem like you're making concessions.
Exactly.
Is that the gist?
Yeah, it's the gist.
Okay.
Voss uses this hilarious story.
I love his stories.
About negotiating a discount.
Okay.
On a rental car.
Okay, yeah.
To illustrate this technique.
Right.
Starts with a ridiculously low offer.
Okay.
60% off.
Wow.
The standard rate.
Of course they laugh.
They laugh it off, but
it sets the stage.
It does.
For that next offer.
Which is still lower than your target.
But more reasonable.
Right.
That's so clever.
It is.
It's psychological judo.
It is your whole frame of reference.
With that extreme offer.
Yeah. And Voss emphasizes a few key points.
Okay.
When using the Ackerman model.
Hit me.
Deliver your offers.
Okay.
With confidence.
Okay.
And legitimacy.
You're serious.
You want to convey that you've thought about this.
Yeah.
That you've put thought into your numbers.
Even if they seem outlandish.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you're hesitant,
yeah,
the whole thing falls apart.
the strategy's gone.
You've got to own it.
Yeah.
Okay? And then remember,
Yes.
non-round numbers.
Non-round number.
Instead of $400.
You offer $386.
Right. Like you've done the math.
You've done the math.
He seems more credible.
This is all coming together.
It is. It is.
Anchoring, calibrated question.
Non-round numbers. Tactical empathy.
It's an art.
It's a dance.
A dance of influence.
And don't forget the labeling.
Throughout the process.
Right.
As you make each offer, acknowledge their reaction.
Okay.
You might say.
Yeah.
I understand this offer might seem low.
Okay.
But I'm confident we can find a solution that works for both of us.
You're constantly reassuring them that you're on their side.
But guiding the negotiation.
This is brilliant.
It is.
Voss is like demystifying negotiation.
He is.
Breaking it down.
Into steps.
Anyone can follow.
Absolutely.
So to wrap things up.
Okay.
What's the one piece of advice
you want our listeners to take away
from Never Split the Difference?
If I had to choose one,
okay,
it would be don't get mad, get what you want.
That is so good.
It's simple.
And so powerful.
It is.
It's a reminder that it's not about winning at all costs.
No, it's about achieving your goals.
And maintaining a
positive dynamic.
It's not a battle. It's a collaboration.
Okay.
To find those win-win outcomes.
Yes.
And when you approach it with that mindset, it opens up.
All those possibilities.
This has been eye-opening.
It has.
Voss's book is going on my must-read list.
Mine too.
Definitely recommend it to our listeners.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So many stories that can change how you approach
everything.
Negotiations forever.
Yeah.
Before we go,
okay,
I want to circle back to those black swans.
Okay, yeah.
We talked about how they can change the game.
We can.
But how can our listeners become more attuned to spotting them?
That's a great question.
And their own negotiations.
It comes down to curiosity and challenging your assumptions.
So not taking things at face value.
Right. Voss says pay attention to anything that seems off, contradictory, inconsistent.
Those little red flags.
Subtle cues.
Yeah. That signal there's more to the story.
Exactly.
Okay, let's say you're negotiating a salary with a potential employer. They seem eager to hire you.
Okay.
But their offer is way lower.
Red flag.
Than expected.
Big red flag.
What kind of black swan could be lurking there?
It could be a lot of things. Maybe they're facing budget constraints
that
they're not comfortable sharing. Or maybe they have a different understanding
of the role. Yeah.
Of the responsibilities.
Or maybe there's an internal candidate
that they can't tell you about.
There's always more to the story than we see on the surface.
And being aware of that
helps you ask better questions.
Right. Uncover that information.
This reminds me of those calibrated questions.
How and what?
Help you peel back those layers.
Get to the heart of the matter.
And don't be afraid to probe.
If something doesn't feel right.
You might say, I'm a little surprised by the salary range.
Okay.
Can you help me understand the reasoning?
You're not being confrontational.
Right. Just curious.
Inviting them to share.
And that might uncover a black swan.
That changes your strategy.
I love it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
This whole deep dive.
I've really enjoyed it.
Into negotiation.
Yeah.
It feels like I have these new tools, new perspectives.
That you can apply.
To every part of my life.
And remember, mastering negotiation is a journey.
It's not a destination, it's a process.
The more you practice.
Yeah.
The more natural it'll become.
I'm excited to put this into action.
Me too.
Encourage our listeners to do the same.
Yeah, pick up the book.
Never Split the Difference.
So good.
Apply these insights.
You won't regret it.
It'll stay with you.
For a long time.
Now, before we say goodbye,
I
want to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay.
Inspired by the black swans.
Okay.
What are you not seeing in your current negotiations?
That's a good question.
What hidden information
could change the game for you?
Maybe it's time to dig deeper.
Ask those questions.
See what you uncover. Exactly. Thanks for joining us
on this deep dive.
Negotiation mastery.
Until next time.
Keep diving.
Voss says it best. Life is negotiation.
Yeah, it's so true.
We're always negotiating.
Whether we realize it or not.
And it's not always about these big contracts.
Right. Not those high-stakes deals.
Think about, like, Everyday stuff.
Yeah, like deciding where to eat.
With friends.
Or making weekend plans.
With family.
Or even negotiating bedtime with a toddler.
Oh, those little negotiators.
They know how to get what they want.
They do.
It's like we all have this capacity.
For negotiation.
It's part of being human.
It is, and Voss gives us the tools.
It's not about being this ruthless deal maker.
No, it's about honing a skill
that we already have.
Voss makes it so accessible.
Yeah, negotiation can be intimidating.
It can.
Especially if you're not naturally assertive.
But he breaks it down
to steps
that anyone can learn.
It's not about manipulation.
Not at all.
Or trickery.
It's about understanding
human behavior.
Recognizing patterns.
Yeah.
And navigating conversations better.
It's about finding those win-win solutions
that benefit everyone.
This deep dive has been a game changer.
I'm glad.
It's like I'm seeing the world differently.
It's all about awareness.
Noticing those cues, those dynamics.
Once you start paying attention,
you'll
be amazed how much more effective you can be.
I'm feeling empowered.
Good.
Ready to put this into practice.
Do it.
Encourage our listeners to do the same.
Pick up the book.
Never split the difference. It's so good.
Apply these insights to your own life.
You won't regret it.
It's a book that will stay with you.
And as you embark on this journey
of negotiation mastery,
remember
Voss's words.
Don't get mad, get what you want.
The best advice.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive
into negotiation mastery.
Until next time,
keep diving.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Better Every Day. We hope you found some actionable insights to help you on your self-improvement journey. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on future deep dives. And if you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, small steps every day lead to big changes. See you next time.